business tonight, as always, is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of 7/16/2025.
I would move that the minutes be approved as written.
Second.
Any additions, corrections, deletions, anything? Those in favor? Okay. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Selectmen's comments.
So we met with Consolidated Communications last week and got the latest news about the activation of broadband in Woolwich, fiber broadband. So it looks like August 13th, they'll be turning some people on, or part of the town will be ready, and August 27th, the rest will be ready. And so residents who pre-ordered service will get a notification by email when they are able to place their orders.
Okay, I sent in a card that they sent me.
Okay, yeah.
Did that mean that I'm pre-registered?
Probably, yeah. I didn't see those cards, but yeah, anybody that pre-ordered will get an email, and they are going to come to the community picnic, and also there'll be that there's that ribbon cutting celebration at the Wiscasset Community Center next week. They'll also be there to answer questions.
They installed equipment in the line to the house last night.
Did they?
Yep.
Oh, good.
That's it for me.
Dale,
Nothing.
Jason.
Allison wanted me to read this. She's not here, but she said that report to the select board. She's serving as a member of a group of officials in Saginaw County and Brunswick to talk about transportation issues. They have met once on Zoom and next week in person. Just wanted me to share that with the board. I got a couple quick things. Tommy mentioned kind of, but a week from Saturday is the Woolwich Community Picnic. So David, I trust you. You know.
I'll be here.
All right. Obviously, it's right here at on the property. The other thing is Kevin Brewer reached out, and if you recall, last year he did some trimming at the pedestrian underpass. I think we spent $1,000.
Yep.
He sent a quote for this year's for $700. I don't think we can afford that. I looked at the budget. We have $2,500 for this year for the upkeep, and I think there's only $450 or $60, if I'm not mistaken, in a potential carry forward. He will do whatever you want to do, though. Like if you say do $250 worth, he'll do $250 worth.
This having used up whatever amount of money is left in that account.
All right.
And,
Well, I'll report back.
and then having do what he can for that amount of money, and then if something comes up and we have to do a regular contingency.
Yeah, if you remember, we did that whole up and down. We went down and checked it out. And there's the stuff up in the fence at the top on the. I guess it's the south side.
They don't keep after the bamboo. It's just going to keep coming back.
No, that's how you look. So anyway, that's it.
That's it. I have nothing tonight. Public comments. If anybody from the public would like to speak to us about something that's not on the agenda, now's the time. Go ahead.
Got a couple of. Oh,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, but
Yes,
Nikki, you're on the agenda.
Oh, I am on.
Yes, okay, sorry.
All right, just a couple of things that, first of all, the culvert was put in at our house, and the guys did a fantastic job. The other thing is that the Sassanoa Area Neighborhood Watch has ordered their signs because our sheriff was not very helpful in getting those for us. So we were looking to see whether or not the Neighborhood Watch signs that we have would be able to be installed, and if we were to install them, do we need permission from the town to do so? I know you said that you would help us when we got the signs, but I don't want to start putting them up and then have you guys come back and ask me about that sort of thing. So
How big are they?
they're 9 by 12.
Okay, are they the small ones that we saw by your house? So they just go on a single post?
Well, those slow down road, not a racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about the same size, but they get mounted to a pole.
Okay.
And we have existing poles throughout the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But we would be very, obviously, we care about what our neighborhood looks like. We would be very conscientious about where we were putting the signs. But I didn't want to go ahead and just start installing them without asking for permission first to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, so,
When you say poles, you mean telephone poles?
No, God no. These are the town poles that got like stop signs on them, or, well, the signs on Miller Road, which are, those poles are all twisted, but like anything that's existing, we would bolt them underneath that sign that's on the
Yeah, if
pole
you're an
already.
existing sign, what the heck?
yeah.
And it's just, and then we would I want to put one probably on a tree down where all of our fun stuff happened, where the
Yeah.
boat is gone.
Yeah.
That was big news
That's
last
big
week.
news, yeah.
But, there's 8 signs that we're gonna probably strategically put up. One will go on Reed Roadside, a couple will go on Old Rousick, and 2 will go on Woodbridge, coming and going from either side of Woodbridge. So if that's okay with you guys,
As far as I'm concerned, if you can make peace with all your neighbors and find, yeah. there's
they
no
love
problem.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as they don't, as long as they don't cover up the view of the existing sign.
No, absolutely not. We wouldn't want that. Half the time the people can't read the dead end and the 15-mile-an-hour sign, so we're not gonna cover up that stuff. The other thing that I was wondering about is there's been a porta potty sitting up in a vacant lot that is owned by Dennis Baker. It stinks and it's an eyesore, and people come screaming in off of Route 1 to stop and take a quick whatever and then leave. But I've noticed walking past the dogs that it's not being maintained. Is that a Highly issue, a Dennis Baker issue, or something that code enforcement can look into?
I think it's highway now, but the code officer looked into this. And so there is a state law that governs porta potties and about the time frame and this sort of thing. And so what I recall, he looked into it a few months ago, is they said there was more construction work gonna take place and la-di-da-da. So I don't know if we wanna get Mike to revisit. What do you think, Kim?
Well, we could probably reach out to Casella, I believe is the porta potty, and let him know that there's some, check it to see,
Yeah.
I'll reach out to the
I
property
mean,
owner as well.
Right, it's been there for 2 years, about
Yes.
2 years.
Right,
And they were planning on doing a grow facility there, and they were denied. So it doesn't look, and checking the tax maps and stuff like that, I can't really actually see who owns that piece of property, because I don't see anything there, but I haven't really gone deep into it. But I did notice that Dennis still owns that, the Highleys, and if it's Highleys porta potty, do we as neighbors go to Highleys and say, get that thing out of here? And they don't upkeep over there anyways, they still got those EPA black, the
Yeah,
whole,
erosion control stuff,
it's
yeah.
disgusting over
Yeah.
there. And the porta potty it stinks. My dogs are like, ooh, this smells good, but to me, it smells disgusting. So I think that it needs to go,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. All right, let us look into it.
yeah.
We'll do what we can.
Okay, and one last question that I have for you is, when we decide on the property assessments and the mill rate, and that some folks are gonna experience an increase, will we have some kind of an advanced notice of what, if some folks save every year in a savings account, and they're wondering how much more they need to bump up, so that when the new taxes come out, it's not quite a sticker shock for us?
Will be going out.
The letters went out today
Okay,
of what the new valuations are.
okay,
It probably is gonna be sticker shock to a lot of people, but they also need to take into account that the mill rate that we have now is 1670. We're only at a 65% certified ratio, which is now going to be at 100%. And with that, it will bring the mill rate dramatically down.
okay,
So they should not, they'll probably be, sticker shocked by the amount of the increase, but
Right.
they've got to take that into consideration. So,
Yeah.
if we calculated Candace's, and with
Well-
her exemptions,
yeah,
if, I picked a generic mill rate number, which it is not set in stone, her taxes will be less than what she paid this year.
okay.
Okay.
And it's just, we expect but we wanna know what to expect so that the folks that are on fixed income can make adjustments to how much they're saving, so they
It's not gonna be set until we set the mill rate, which is gonna be in September.
Okay.
That's right, so we don't wanna say some mill rate number, we don't know.
No,
But
we
we
just wanted,
should-
they wanted to know if they were gonna have advance notice so they could start socking more money away. That's all we're asking.
But the
Yeah.
town still has a target number. We know we have to send the school $455,000 every month.
Mhm.
We know that we have to send the county government $1,155,000 this year. We know that the town meeting gave us, what, 2.6?
2.8, I think it was.
What is it?
2.8? I think we had
2.6 or
after,
2.8 million
after
to
snow
run
plow.
the town, okay?
Yeah.
So that's our number.
Yeah.
So if the total townwide valuation doubles, our mill rate will cut by 50%.
Okay.
Because there is gonna be no extra money. We're just gonna reach that number and that's it. So-
Okay.
So tell people, don't panic. We're not Brunswick. We're not looking to make
Okay.
extra money on
And then
this.
I think that's what's driving this, is the recent increase that hit Brunswick, this year. That's causing a lot of folks in Woolwich to start to worry, and like I said, we have an older crew in my neighborhood, and they're asking me to say, no, I come to the meetings.
We have an older crew the entire town.
I think, yeah, we do, we have a lot of
It-
folks.
But the five of us are not the legislative body in this town, the town meeting is. So the town meeting set the amount of money that we had to spend.
Right.
So, so there will be no extra money for the town. I fully expect my valuation of my house to almost triple. But I'm in hopes that with the mill rate down, I'm gonna pay more tax than I know I'm in. But I'm in hopes I'm not gonna get killed on the deal.
All right, well, I'll let folks not know just to kind of cool their jets, and they're gonna get a letter, and, and we'll have a general idea, but we don't really need to start going into a total panic about
Right.
our rate, our taxes doubling.
yeah, just let them know that, now the exemptions are at 100%. I mean, it was 16,000 for homestead, and now it's going back up to 25. Any military, veterans exemption, those are back up to 6. And
Homestead exemption will go back to 100%.
Yeah,
I mean, so there'll be some mitigating adjustments.
Right, and it's true to say that right this minute, we don't really know the total new value of the town.
No, we
Correct.
don't.
We know some figures,
Yeah.
with CMP, we picked up tens
Quite a
of
bit.
millions in value from them, we've
Yeah.
got some, and obviously people's values are gonna go up.
Right.
But we don't, this process has to go this way.
Absolutely, and I just wanted something to go back and tell my neighbors
Yeah.
when
Oh,
I'm out walking my dogs.
right.
Our largest taxpayer is Central Maine Power.
Okay.
And all those big metal towers they've been putting up out there in the woods, they're about $900,000 a piece.
Oh, wow.
So,
So
they've been
like
putting up,
offsetting taxes.
they've been putting up.
Can't we just push a little bit more over that
So
way?
that's gonna help too.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you, I'm done.
Okay.
Next. Did you,
You're on the,
She's on the agenda. That's yes, for the bulkhead.
okay. Rather than keep Jason here all evening, let's jump down to old business and talk to Jason Libby, the school principal, about the road over there. It's become a real, I'm sure you know, it's become a real nuisance. I mean, we can't run a fire truck up through there. People that wanna go through the road can't get through. We gotta do something to stop people. And it really drives me nuts, the school bus. I have 2 school buses that turn around in my driveway in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And I usually see 1 or 2 little heads on the school buses. We're running all those buses all over town empty. Because
They're not empty, I can
everybody
assure you
drives
that.
through.
I mean, we were at 4 buses, we've gone to 5 buses, they're not empty.
I know, they're not, I mean,
I know,
I'm
I'm
stretching
watching
that,
it,
but,
you know.
but I mean, they've got very few students on them, because everybody drives little Johnny and Debbie to school in the morning and clogs up the road, so what can we do?
Well, I guess I have a lot of information I want to share about it, but I also want to understand the full concern. Because my understanding is, are we talking about the 10 minutes from 8:20 to 8:30 for arrival?
it's arrival and pickup.
Okay, so it is pickup as well, because pickup is very different than in
Yeah.
the morning.
Yeah, so,
Pickup is better, but even total, we're talking about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
5 days a week.
and you've seen it, right, on both.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not denying that there's
Yeah.
traffic on the road, I'm not denying that cars are backed up on the road, I'm not saying that, I just want to understand that, like, we're talking about 20 minutes a day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
we're not talking about, like, if a fire truck comes through,
No.
they're going through.
Yeah.
So are you getting calls every day? I mean, where is this concern?
We had an awful lot more problems this past year, and what's happening is, for instance, if you're coming from Route 1 and heading towards 127, and you come up with the line of cars waiting to turn in because it's full.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other ones, they go out to pass, but then the cars go out to pass the other, and so you get into this whole, we didn't know if there was some way to reconfigure drop-off,
So,
yeah.
what I'll share is this, I'm just gonna come back to you for a minute, Dave, because I think you hit the nail on the head with a few of the things. So, there was a period of time where you had a lot more school choice families that were attending in Woolwich. They just, for whatever reasons, those are families within the district can choose to come here. If we have room, we can allow them once Woolwich residents to take care of it. Dr. Manuel and I have worked on that for years to cut that number down. So we are trying to reduce that because their only parent transportation is their only option. We've had transitions in bus companies, so I think there has been a lot of hiccups there that are causing longer bus runs. That I think, we literally have students that are on the bus 45 minutes to an hour just because we're a rural community. So for those factors, I do think there are many families in town. Plus, I'm not, what you're alluding to is true. A lot of parents are just choosing to drop off now, whatever their family situation. I communicate every year with families about busing. I work with Bruce First Student with the bus drivers to improve the bus situation. We're doing everything we can to reduce the overall number. Because really, the location of the school, the limited parking, it's a small road anyway. The volume is a problem. No matter what I come up with for a system, the volume is going to be a problem. So that's our first line of defense, is to try to cut that down. But then secondly, I have Saginaw Sheriff's Department come over and consult with me every year at the beginning of the year. They're there for the first 3 days of school to direct traffic, to set up the patterns of movement, to get that established, and we have the adults out there every time too. So, I don't know, I'm not sure how to fix the problem. I'm just being honest with you. I believe that the school should be the centerpiece of the community. And I think we have a problem when there aren't people at the school. I've had fire chief come over and interrupt an assembly to tell me to get people off the road because they wouldn't be able to, get through. But I'm like, that's the problem I want. We want everybody there. So I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to ideas. I know there are safety concerns. We've done this now since COVID. That's when we made the switch to the drop-off circles instead of the system that was in before. It was kind of forced by COVID. We've kept it since.
So touching on that, prior to COVID, folks pulled in, dropped the kids off, they went up to the school, is that right?
Prior to COVID, they parked everywhere.
Yeah, right. The
They
kids
parked
get
around the building,
Yeah.
out back, they parked on the side of the road, they parked everywhere.
Yeah.
We would have the cafeteria full of people at pickup time. Betsy Lane knew everyone. They would walk up to the window, sign the child shield, give the roll call, the names, and, there were 80 to 100 kids that would be called down to the cafeteria. So they weren't, so they were just stationary cars up there that were parked.
Yeah, and so now you go through the drop-off circle.
Yep.
And
In the morning, the larger circle is for the buses.
Right.
And then the smaller circle is for parent drop-off.
Yeah.
In the mornings, that's, from my perspective, that's our biggest issue because there are so many parent drop-offs, and that's a small loop. So they'll come in, we keep moving as quick as we can. We have about 15 cars that we can get in there at a time, and we just keep it going. And then the buses use the big circle.
Yeah, so how does that work? The driver stays in the vehicle.
Yep, so they come up, the only thing we don't allow is passing on the inside. So we don't allow anyone to pass in that narrow strip in case a student is in the car in front, they open the door on the left side, then they're gonna get clipped. So we monitor that, so they come all the way around, right up to the edge of the sidewalks there. And from there, all the way back to the other end of the sidewalk, we can get about 12 cars. We actually extend those because we know it's an issue, so I have somebody that walks back all the way and lets them up as far as we can get. And then as they go, we get them. We have somebody there to make sure everybody always pulls all the way out because, You get the random person that wants to stop and drop just at the front door. So, and essentially, we can get about 15 people, or 12 to 13 vehicles we can get at a time that come through. You know, the other dynamic though is like, it's not really that drop-off loop, it's re-entry. You know, because then they get down there and then they got to alternate to go if they're going left or right. And I think the biggest issue is, as you were saying, Dave, when cars come from the 127 side, kind of crest that hill, you know, that's a problem.
I haven't seen it myself, Jason, but I've had somebody that lives on the road complain to me that some days the traffic backed up going towards Route 1 is all the way down to the Holbrook property.
I would say potentially on a Wednesday morning. The late start Wednesday mornings are our biggest issue because parents are itching to get classes legitimately, but they are trying to make that drop and get to work as quick as possible, so they get there earlier, it backs up longer. That's the day that I notice it goes back to our other loop. And, you know, occasionally, if it's a non-sports day or there aren't activities in the afternoon, because in the afternoon we switch to the bigger loop and we load the buses first, get them out of there, and then bring the cars in because we can bring a lot more in. And they will then also line up, if they're early, they'll line up down on kind of the pump house, then in that parking lot. And so we have a long loop, basically, if you can picture it, will go all the way around the loop and then down that road and then back out for pickups. And if they get back to the road, then yeah, that's, you know, they would be turning down that way, so it might be to the bridge. There would be 4 or 5 cars.
It's just, like you said, it's a very narrow road.
It is, I'm not,
And the problem is when you get along, if you've got people coming in from the middle road and people coming from
Yeah.
Route 1, it just totally clogs the road. So I don't know what the answer is either, but we were hoping that we could kind of figure out something.
I mean, I don't know. The only thing, and I haven't, the only thing I could look at doing, well, the only thing I can think of right now that it's only going to really alleviate the morning. But if the buses went through the smaller loop, then we could set the larger loop up like we do in the afternoon, and we would get more cars off the road. And there would be, you know, the other difference to me is like down there on that end, and so by the bigger entrance, it's also there. That is wider there. There's a little more space there. It's more visible. My biggest fear is the crest of that hill. If they crest that hill coming from the 127 side and the cars are backed up there and they're moving in a clip that they shouldn't, then, you know, so I will explore that and see if like I don't know, I just would have to talk to first student about the buses being able to make that little tighter circle, and I think they can, you know, but if they dropped off over there, we could get more parents off the road in the morning.
But can they make that little circle with a full-length bus?
And aren't your street?
Well, that's what I'll be honest, Dave, that's what I can't.
Aren't your street lights low? Yeah, aren't there lights that are lower on that side? Or, I don't know. That'd be a tight circle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to check with them because I haven't, you know, that would, like I said, that's going to move. If I just look at it, the circle, we're only dealing with about 12 to 15 cars like in our parking lot and in the circle on the small side. If between the big loop and down the pump house road, we could double that, or, you know, we could get to almost 25, 30 cars that would be over there rather than lined up on the road.
What if you sent out a letter to the parents saying, you know, that it is becoming a problem, and if possible, if their children could ride the bus, have them ride the bus?
So that's kind of what I started with. They're going to do that every year. That's part of my welcome back message.
Human nature is what it is. Everybody's going to say, well, maybe the neighbor's kid could ride the bus, but mine isn't. You know?
Well, we thought of
Well, no, I had a crazy thought about changing the road going in, rather than coming up and around the circle. I don't think the buses can make that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of coming in from the pump station road and going, you have to put a little hole through there to make the road go through, but going down by the sidewalk.
not sure it's all, to be honest.
Well,
So-
that's all right.
Not connected, you can't connect the two circles, all right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that would
No,
be.
you got the main circle, and then you got the other circle.
Right.
I mean, so one of the biggest problems is coming from both ways. If they all came from one direction, I know you can't make them do that, but if they came from one direction, that, you know, but right now, I mean, if you were pulling into the Taste of Maine and they were lined up both ways, you drive by because you can't turn in, right?
Right.
And obviously, keep cutting, you know, is the drop off a specific time or
It's 8:20 to 8:30.
that's it? You won't take a kid at 8:15 then?
No.
No.
Well,
No, I'm
I
just.
mean,
I'm
staffing wise contractually, I don't have staff to supervise, but you know the answer to
Yeah,
that.
no.
If
I
I
just-
started at 8:15, they'd only be there at 8:10.
Yeah, no.
I have somebody that wants to be first, they're there before I'm supposed to be. 7:45, they're sitting out in front of that line.
Yeah, no, we're
So
just.
it's like, I can't, you know, that part I'm not gonna be able to control.
Yeah, no.
Because no matter, it's just they're gonna keep going. I mean, that's the point to me, like, it is a significant problem, I'm not here to deny that. It's also a 10-minute problem. And so like, I'm not, like, I don't know who's calling you, but
Well, it's a concern the fire chief had, it's a concern that folks had. I mean, I know myself, I've been through it, you know, if you're in the line there and the people start going around you that aren't going to the school, you go around, then you meet cars coming head on. And then, of course, you got folks sitting in, so the difficult part, so bear with us, if you're turning in there, and you're turning into the right, going towards 127, who has the right of way? The folks turning right or the cars coming in turning left? So then it gets kind of, I've watched it, you know, 3 cars say, no, we're in the right lane going right. So the left lane coming from 127 sits there. Kim's coming along, she goes around. I mean, we don't want it, we know that you don't control the road part of it, but we don't want we don't want it to become a problem where at the end of the day, it's like, you know, sheriff's property, you can't do that. You know, you can't plug the road up in both directions.
so I guess I just circle back to like, I lean on, like, I've been taught, they're there every fall with me for the first week of school. To look at everything they're doing before kids and parents even start arriving, to see if there's anything we can do to change it. They're there the first week of school for arrival and dismissal, to be out there on the roadway, to try to set the standard, to try to set the expectations. So, you know, I'm not.
Yeah. No, you answered some questions. So it's literally at 8, whatever you said, 8:10 to 8:20 or
8:20 to 8:30.
Yeah. So
I mean, honestly, that's the worst time. See, because the big difference there is
Yeah.
we don't have the backup on the 127 side.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there might be one car that's coming in from there that will park over on the side under the big tree there. But that's also by that entrance, that's a much wider part of the road to where people can pull off and get there. It's really the arrival time, and it's really, for me, from my perspective, it's coming from the 127 side because it backs up that hill.
May I add?
Sure.
All right, okay. So, I know that at one point when we started discussing this, there was also a concern that the cars sitting on the side of the road were causing damage to the shoulder and breaking up the blacktop on the shoulder. I remember that conversation. The other thing is that I have picked up my grandson several times, and there are people that get there super early, and that line is, you know, and they don't all move forward. One time I did move forward, and somebody took my picture and posted on Facebook and told me I was above the line, but there was obviously 2 cars that could have fit up in this spot. But couldn't the people that are picking up be required to come after a certain time when the buses are out of that circle?
I tell them to come at 3 o'clock because we will not be done with buses.
Right, I know.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, like, that's communicated every year, every messaging in terms of that, and if they don't want to wait in the line, they get there at 2:30.
Yeah, well, I
And
don't see
they-
the reason
you know,
why the kids
it's-
can't ride the bus, my grandson.
Yeah.
I get a little ticked off that I have to go pick him up.
That would alleviate all, you know, like, I mean, it's, the buses are, there's still room, the buses are full, it's not, but there's still room on the buses, and, you know,
That's beyond your control.
Absolutely.
So,
Parents.
Jack, what's the options on widening that road a little bit?
Money.
it's right, who pays for it?
We decided to widen it on.
That's how we
Well, you get it
that's
on
what I was
the
thinking
school
about.
side. That's the side that they back up the most on. And I was down there looking, there's a telephone pole isn't very far from the road, so that'd be an issue, but you could at least widen it out to that telephone pole fairly quick. I mean, in the spring, you can't even get that far off the pavement, and you're stuck out there. It's a problem already just to have a place to park there if you're not blocking the road too much. It's really kind of soggy, so could we cut some of that, of their lawn away and widen that, put a decent shoulder in there?
We'd have to look at it, I don't know, I mean, I'm not a big fan of making a parking lot out of the road so that people can park.
Right, but if
I think a lot of this, I'm gonna speak off the turn here, but I think a lot of this is driver mannerism. I've been over there, okay, and I've been over there and I've seen people many times when a lot of them are rude, they don't care about the other person, and they wanna go first and so on. So it's manners. Manners are hurting this. You can have a lot of traffic if they do it correctly.
So I have another dumb suggestion, but right now they go in the entrance, go around the small circle, and then come back out, and that's another problem, obviously, because they've got to exit.
Yeah.
Is there any consideration, don't shoot me, but to send them up through the faculty parking lot and out the one-way?
We try to.
I mean, if you go out the one-way exit, if you will, up on the orchard end.
Yeah, we try to.
And I know they all got their mindset to go to Route 1 or go.
I mean, I say we try to. I mean, and that's, I could potentially post somebody over there and direct it that way. We could try that, adding that in.
I mean, it would just take a little bit out of the.
What if we posted a sign that the exit is right turn only?
Well, it's one way now, I know that.
No, I mean, if they all had to go towards 127,
Yeah.
if it was right
I mean, we're not trying to make
turn
it
only, then they wouldn't be
Yeah.
stopping the
Well,
other
and
guy.
I'm not, I didn't want to be, I hope I'm not coming across as defensive, because I'm not that. I just, it's a volume issue, and I don't know how to get more kids onto the buses to reduce the volume. I've tried to reduce the volume in terms of school choice and being a little more, mindful of that and not committing to that for future, all of that. So, and then beyond that, it's like, having been out there most days, yes, you're correct, sir. Like it isn't the friend, I mean, yeah.
A lot of it could be corrected, I think, with, do you put a person out there in the morning during this time?
Yeah, I staff both, we have 4 staff members that are out once we open the doors. We have 3 staff members that are on the sidewalk of the small circle.
Wouldn't, a question,
Yeah.
wouldn't a qualified person out there, it seems to me the busiest problem is the intersection to the middle road.
Correct.
Wouldn't it be if somebody there that was correct, telling them what to do? Because I've seen a lot of things go on right there.
Yeah, I
That
think.
are bad manners.
Yeah, I think what I can do, that's another suggestion. I'll look into first student. I also, you all know Deputy Anderson lives right on the hill there. He's worked a lot with us, just in our leads program and everything. And Deputy Carlton, they're usually the 2 daytime people, and I can make that an emphasis for them, especially in the beginning when they're there, to work in that section, and I'm sure they would come back like periodically.
I think this is, I think, I've been thinking about this a lot, I've been over there several times and looked at this. There's no real one-fits-all cure for this. But the presence of somebody like that,
Yeah.
at least if they need a fire truck up there, they'll pay attention to
Yeah.
it for police officer.
Yeah.
The other way, move, whatever,
And
I
we
mean,
do, either my dean of students or I direct, in the afternoon, over on the bigger circle with the cars that are coming in and out. But that's a point of emphasis on that intersection. I could have them really emphasize this year.
I think it's gonna take, I don't think it's gonna be one thing to fix it. It's
No,
gonna be a little-
I agree.
You're gonna be tweaking
Yeah,
and, try to make it work.
yeah, we do.
Sean, do you have anything?
Yeah, no, that's my only concern is when we have to come out through it. It's from my personal experience, there's nowhere for vehicles to go without making a mess. Like you mentioned, the side of the road is soft. When we come out through, I mean, we're cognizant of the time of the day, especially if it's
Yeah.
pickup or drop off time.
Yeah.
But if they don't physically have any way to pull off and not get stuck, they don't move. You know what I mean? That's my big concern is the road and the side of the road itself. Spring and fall type of deal. It's when they don't. People typically try to move as quick as they see us, But if they don't have anywhere to move, then that's the problem. And I know it's only a 30-minute, 20-minute, situation. I can run the stats at work and find out, but you'd be surprised at how many calls happen between 8 and 9 o'clock. There's quite a few. It's typically when people get up in the morning, especially EMS calls.
Yeah.
People get up, they realize it, and then grandma falls down or whatever.
But can you recall 5 cases where you've driven through on our arrival of dismissal?
I can personally, yeah. I can.
You can?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I just
Because I'm not.
I live on that side. You know what I mean. There's a bunch of us that live on that side. It just depends on the day. It all depends.
It isn't only the fire truck going that
Well,
way,
right,
it's the people coming this
right.
way.
I apologize. I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, it's
the
us.
fire truck going by.
It's us
but
getting
yeah,
to the
yeah,
station.
no,
That's the problem. I mean, I can get a fire truck and an ambulance there usually, but it's
Yeah, no,
there's only a few of us that can, I have a siren and I can run that, but I don't have.
That makes sense.
All my guys don't have
I
that.
was only
so.
thinking the fire.
No, it's okay. So that's my concern.
Why don't we do this? Why don't, let me work on that a little bit, and you can invite me back September, October, or whenever after we get school up and running. We'll just do a little pulse check again and see if we've reduced it at all, if any of the strategies we're trying are changing the how people are feeling at all, and we'll keep chipping away at it.
I certainly appreciate you coming, and just stay in touch, and if we come up with any ideas, we'll get that.
Well,
What?
yeah,
I think with a little tweaking, we can make this fit.
yeah.
At the next meeting, can we have the sheriff's office here? So
Yeah.
make sure we invite them. I'd like to have, I think, especially Chad or the new lieutenant or chief deputy would be good, just to get their involvement in this and their buy-in.
So, but it's okay, you mean after school starts, we can try it, is that?
Well, no, before, whenever we have our next meeting, whenever he comes back, let's have them here.
Because I'll bring whoever I'll talk to them, and whoever's gonna start up with me in the year, we'll come in and talk about how we try to get things going.
Yeah.
Dale just had a great idea. It's a simple idea. No homework if you ride the bus. It's a straightforward solution. You won't have any cost.
But you also got to take into consideration the best 3 years of his life was spent in 3rd grade.
Have you graduated? No. All right.
Well, I just want you to get, I hope I've established this over the years, but I want to work with you at all the times, because we have to work together. I want the school to be a central part of the community. I know, I'm just going to say it out loud, I know those reservations about it becoming an RSU1 building and not yours, and yes, I have to play by RSU1 rules sometimes, but I'm a resident here. I raised my kids here. I pay taxes here. I want to be a part of the.
We never had a parking problem with our old school.
All right, thank you.
Well, maybe when they get that new school built in Bath now, and have all the new toys over there, we can go back and just be a move.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys all say
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
was thinking the big fire truck.
No. Yeah.
I'm here all morning. I know, because I tell you, when you drop the kids off,
Right.
they come in, the light flare.
Oh yeah.
If a fire
Yeah.
truck came, they would
Yeah.
watch
No, you're good, Jason.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you all.
I got a text message to Danny.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, we're gonna do the Davis Ferry Bulkhead Grant application approval next.
Did you just send me?
I did, I printed some out, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You're over here. Hi, everybody. My name is Vicki Yannick, and I am the climate finance specialist for Global Bean Research Institute. Just to give a little context, I started working with Tim Forrester last October during a speaking event that I was having and he was at. And he asked for my help to figure out how to get some funds to rebuild Days Ferry. So Kim and Tim and myself started a hazard mitigation grant several months back through FEMA. Given everything that is going on, the changes that have happened in the policy for FEMA, and the uncertainty of that outcome, we are also looking at a community action grant through the state of Maine to identify funds for the bulkhead. And it's a little bit different. Unfortunately, FEMA would have allowed us to finance 100% of the bulkhead repair. In this particular case, the Community Action Grant will only allow us to apply for up to $75,000 of funding. The numbers are in front of you, so you don't have to take my word for it. But what I've completed here is a bit of a budget worksheet that goes through the different components of the project itself, what the community is going to be responsible for and what the grant would be responsible for, and what match funding myself and Tim have come up with to support that. So obviously you probably have all seen the assessment that Flycatcher did for the bulkhead and the estimates that Reed and Reed gave myself and Kim for what it would cost to rebuild the bulkhead. Those are the reflected numbers here in this particular worksheet. I would like to reiterate that they are still draft form as of right now. Effectively, the total budget to rebuild the bulkhead will be just shy of $100,000. The maximum grant is $75,000. The community match that would be necessary to complete the project is approximately $15,145. That's what would need to be included for a full complete rebuild of the project. So I am here to go over the budget, go through any questions that you all might have, and to ask specifically the committee's thoughts, concerns, and whether or not they feel that the Town of Woolwich would be able to support moving forward with the grant, and if the $15,000 is a feasible number for the community to come up with, and if not, I will do my best to find those funds elsewhere if at all possible.
When is the grant application, when is this due?
August 29th of this month.
And when is it awarded?
It would be notified in December and awarded end of December of this year.
And so,
We currently have a community action grant that we just won. Is that okay?
That is okay,
Okay.
yes. So you have a round 5 grant. This application is for round 6.
Right, okay.
Yep.
and we received the 75.
We
Yeah.
did, yeah.
The full amount.
But I asked, and they said that we were eligible to get
Okay.
round 6, yeah.
So if for some reason you were awarded, would this be, when would construction take place?
As soon as humanly possible. So we cannot apply for the funds for anything that's already happened. So it would have to wait until after the funds were in place, likely January of 2026, if that's possible with weather and whatnot. And that would be a question for Tim and Reed and Reed.
Is the 15,000 a requirement of the grant itself, or is that just making up the difference between the cost and what the grant will be?
It's making up the difference of what the cost would be based on Reed and Reed's estimate and what the grant of $75,000 would be. Generally speaking, there is a match component when you do apply for grants like this. However, because this qualifies under the Maine won't wait actions, at least the way that I've written it, we would not necessarily have a match. But that $15,000 would also qualify for the match if they did say that we needed one.
All right, so one more quick question. So let's say you awarded $50,000.
Yes.
How long is the money available for? In other words, what's the time frame?
So you have an option to apply for a 12-month time frame or a 24-month time frame, depending on the project. My understanding is that the construction would not take that long, but it is up to the community whether or not they would like to apply for 12 or 24 months.
Because what I meant was if you had 50, you're short 50, right?
Exactly,
Or,
yes.
or maybe not with that other 8,000, but whatever.
Yes.
So we're, yeah. Okay, all the questions I have. Of course, we're always supportive of finding all the money you can somewhere else.
I am doing my absolute best for that. We've been working for a couple months on finding appropriate funds. There is another state fund that would be appropriate for this particular project, but it's not going to be open for application until March of 2026. That is the Maine Boating Facilities Fund, at least as far as I know right now. That is something that could be up for a new application. There's also the Maine Infrastructure Adaptation Fund, which is likely going to open in September of this year. But as of it right now, it's not currently open for application, so it's something that we can consider as time moves on.
My question is, what do you need from us? Do you need us to sign the application?
I don't need you, no, that would be Kim's job. So I've written the application based on your feedback this evening. I will send it to Kim and to Tim for full review and then submission to the Governor's Office of Policy Innovation in the future. I am here to ask whether or not there is $15,145 available for that particular project, and if it would be available to be used for this project. I know that budgets are always of the essence for any community.
We do have the matching, we do have a grant, the under the fund balance grant money.
20,000.
I think it's 40 now, 40 or 50.
Yeah, 50, I think.
But,
We have 40,000 to
Yeah.
apply for grants, but that would, if we had to apply the whole 40 to it, that would clean us out.
well, that's why I was asking a couple of questions, like if it went into another fiscal year, July 1 of next year, you know, I mean, I don't know how this works. And then, obviously, if you're asking for 15, but then you only got 50, we're not in a position to commit 40.
And you do not necessarily have to accept the funds if they only came back with 50, for example. You don't have to say, yes, we're going to move forward with the project. You have the option to say, no, this isn't going to work for us.
I say apply, and we'll do all we can, wait and see. I mean, that's the only way
If we
can
don't
do
have to commit to the 15 right necessarily
Nothing
right
ventured,
now,
nothing
yeah.
gained.
Well,
Then that-
like I say, we're gonna go into 2 budget years, somebody's gonna, I mean, we just have to figure it out, but if they only gave you 25, we're a long ways away.
Yes.
If they give you 75, or, yeah. So I think that never
What
hurts.
season does this have to be done? What season of the year does the construction have to happen?
That is up to read and the weather.
So there's no constraint, like you
There's
have to
no
do it in the winter or something?
No environmental restriction on
If
this.
you apply for a 12-month runway, you have 12 months to complete the project. There's a quarterly reporting period, which I'm happy to help support Kim, because I'm sure she has plenty on her plate as it is. There is a quarterly reporting period just to figure out where you are and whether or not you're on schedule to make sure that you're spending the money within that 12 or 24 months.
Yeah.
But that's the only.
So to remind the board, at minimum, it's a 12-month cycle.
Correct,
Then. So in a
yes.
12-month cycle, we're still putting our budget together, we have the feedback before town meeting.
Yeah.
We could, if we did want to craft a warrant article, you
It
know.
also gives you enough runway for me to apply for a secondary application, either at the Maine Infrastructure Adaptation Fund, which would also allow the town to identify any other working waterfront property or road infrastructure that might need support from that particular fund. I'm happy to help support on that. Or if there's another component to the Maine Building Facilities Fund that could support working waterfront in the community.
Yeah, I move we authorize
Yeah,
the grant application.
second.
Those in favor? Okay, send it in. Cross the fingers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
David, you have time to, he has a.
I'm gonna take care. Road Commissioner.
I don't really have a lot, we're gonna be installing a new culvert on section 5 of the old state road. And we'll be closing the road for a day, we're targeting for the 20th. We're notified as,
Yeah.
what's his name over here?
Where are they closing it there?
So this, yeah.
Which culvert is, where are they closing it?
It's just after you turn off the mountain road on the old stage on section 5,
Yep,
there's a culvert in there.
right at the bottom of the hill there.
Yeah.
It's the one we've been talking about that has.
Yeah.
We have the culvert on hand and all that.
So what are
We're
you,
gonna spoil a day.
are you thinking 8 to 2 or 8 to 2:30?
Yeah, 8 to 2 or 3 or 4.
So
whatever.
we can.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's 2 weeks from today,
Okay.
so the rave thing or whatever notification,
Well, from that end, income was scarce anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Other than
big
that, all quiet, Jim?
Yeah,
We've
no,
never seen that.
it's great.
Pretty good, no, everything's good,
Okay,
no problems. I gotta go to a funeral,
all right.
sorry about that.
One is not your own.
Can't do it. But,
You're over there working, John. While you're over there working, you notice that nobody around. Sit at the meeting.
Well, yeah,
Keep the meeting short.
and
Okay.
it's probably still warm.
It is.
It's like 40 degrees in here, isn't it?
All right, now, let's go to the town administrator's report. We're kind of bouncing around tonight, but we'll get to the end eventually.
We will. All right, so Nicole will be here on Friday, the assessing agent. It's only her second time here, so she's gonna get caught up to speed on everything. Hopefully she can start figuring her own way to get into the building. She had asked if we had put the assessor's email on the website and had announced it, and I have, and she said she has not received any email whatsoever. So that's kind of a good thing.
Wow.
Oh, you wait, they will.
Yeah, they said, that's what I said.
After today.
You wait, you might have a full inbox here pretty soon. I want to thank David for coming down and power washing the front of the building to get rid of the bugs. It still looks a little scary out there on the side and, up, and I don't know what you guys want to do. I say we wait until summer's over and then maybe see if Dale can come back, or maybe if a fire hose would get it better, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we can rinse it again.
I mean,
Is there any place down there to hook up a conventional garden hose? Where?
What do you mean? We have a guy, we're in the station. Two of them,
Well,
on each side of the
I
building.
used the fire hose that we reeled up there to do the front of the building the other night because I couldn't find the garden hose. Where's the garden hose?
What do you mean, use the red one?
I used-
The green one?
I used the red hose on the reel to wash the front of the building the
I'll
other night.
have to look, I don't know what you're talking about. The one right by the door, that's the garden house.
regular garden.
What happened to
Yeah,
faucet?
God knows it.
I'll come down and you show me where it is, because I had my pressure washer with me, just couldn't figure any way to hook it up.
Yeah, no, it's a regular garden hose down there.
Yeah, okay.
And they don't even faucet around the front of the building? I thought we had a,
I always thought we had a faucet around the outside of the building, but there isn't one.
I thought
couldn't
somebody
find
said
it.
bushes there, there was one.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe so hand
I was talking
I
to.
don't know. I don't think we do, but
What we ought to do someday when we get a little flush, have a formal open over the bathroom. Like,
Oh,
that would be
to the side.
easy. That would be cheap, and then we could just run a garden hose from there, but, yeah, because I could have done a better job if I figured out how to hook up my pressure washer, but.
yeah, I mean, it got some of the bugs off, but it still looks pretty nasty out there. And it'd be nice if we could change the lights to like a yellow light, so
That's
that way
what,
it
that's what
doesn't
we,
attract the bugs.
yeah, that's
what
what's
you
gonna
need.
happen, is we're
Right,
attracting
because
them.
it is nasty, it's just, you walk through spider webs when it's
Well, it must
bugs,
it
dead
must-
bugs,
it
or,
must have been 500.
it's kind of
spiders.
embarrassing for when residents and people come in, it's just, ugh. Good news about the tax acquired property, Mr. Manchester has come in and made 2 payments, he is very close to getting his house deeded back to him. We have informed him that if he comes in before the commitment, then his house will be deeded, and I'm gonna see what Nicole can do to get his homestead back on it, and, you know, everything will be good. He's been, you know, he came in when he said he was, which was nice, so he's coming every couple of Mondays. He was here this last Monday, he said he's gonna get caught up, and hopefully, that'll be done with that. I have not heard anything about the other property. Have you heard? I know that gentleman was gonna hire an attorney,
The Meadow Road property.
yeah, to figure out if she actually does own the property, but nobody's heard anything about it from, no, so I guess we'll just wait on that one. Crystal Murray said that the outhouse is getting pretty full, so maybe we should look into getting it pumped out this fall. So there's some extra money that,
Yeah, whatever you want, we will set you up. Just-
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, she said it's
I
getting
can help you with that.
down there. And then, I know that later we're gonna go down and look at some town reports, and I guess we did say that the 250th anniversary was 1759, right? We're gonna go with that. So anyway, this gentleman from Susan Collins' office has sent me an email, back in June, and I went and skimmed over it. But he brought it up today, and so he would like to have some individual constituents show up maybe a couple times a year and during office hours, and, you know, maybe get the word out to residents, senior residents or whatever, but anything that they would have an issue with, like trying to, you know, deal with the IRS or filing your taxes, or, you know, something that's a concern that they have that they can't seem to get accomplished, and these people, these constituents from Susan Collins' office would, you know, relay the message and see what they could do for them, and I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah,
And,
sounds great.
okay, so I said I'd ask you guys and, get something scheduled, so, all right, that's all I have, I'm done.
Okay. Codes office issued 3 building permits, 2 residential solar, 1 commercial building, Back River LLC at the industrial park. Issued 2 internal plumbing and 1 subsurface wastewater permits. Business site plans, Dairy Queen addition on the patio in the front. Lifewood's Fix and Go, 115 Middle Road, car and truck repair garage.
That was old garage.
Yeah.
On the planning board agenda for August 11th. Complaints regarding Old Rousick Road and the shed that has fallen down. I sent a letter to the residents. Attempts at the house have been unsuccessful. The letter was sent back undeliverable. Advertising signs throughout town. Located several of them. Contacted a number of the companies to remove the signs. Hopefully they'll take care of the issue. That's his report. And let's see.
I think he's in there too, it's an email.
What is the repercussions if they don't take care of that shed? You know?
It takes a while. You know, we keep going to the landowner and reaching out, and then eventually it can get into a violation and, or, you know, bigger
Is
problem.
there anything in our neighborhood that we could do to help?
Look at that shed.
Yeah.
We have to deem it as attractive nuisance or a dangerous building. We have to decide which one it's gonna be, look to see which one is quicker, and then we can find the worst case scenario, if the people won't take care of it, the town could go in, destroy the building, and then lien their property for the cost of that. But we prefer not to do that because it could be years before we get that money back. We can charge interest on it while we're waiting to get it back, but it might be 10, 15, 20 years before we see the money back. But usually if we send somebody a really official looking notice saying that they've got 30 days to get rid of the building, they usually come around.
Well, how are they getting the property taxes if the letter came back and not?
Well, that's the next step. We have to research that, right? I assume Mike did it to the owner on record, and obviously we're going into tax.
It's gotta be a post office box.
Does somebody live at the house?
Yeah, there's 2 people there.
I wonder why the letter came back undelivered.
Well, she works night shift at BNW, and he cooks at some restaurant. I don't know what his hours are. We really understand.
Well, they get 3 notifications, so if it's a certified letter,
Oh, it was a
then
certified, yeah.
if they try to send the notice 3 times, they'll put a little pink slip in your box, and if they don't go pick it up at the post office, then it comes back here as undeliverable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. This is that one car brown garage.
All right.
What's that?
This is that one car.
It's a shed.
Yeah.
The whole thing is.
Close to the road on
The only thing that's holding up the walls is all the crap she's got in it.
Yeah.
Plus, I had mentioned the car that's rusting out on the lawn hasn't been registered since 2016. It's been sitting there for a while, so it's definitely an eyesore. But I wasn't sure if it fell under the Maine junkyard law.
Moving on, EMS Director's report. He's away in New Mexico for another training, so won't be there tonight. A brief report. In July, EMS responded to 37 calls, saw 32 patients, transported 21. MC1 was called 7 times, and we went to Dresden 3 times to provide mutual aid. Now, fire chief's report.
David,
What?
I got a phone call today. I think she's talked to Kim, a woman who wants to pay her ambulance bill, and she
No,
can't.
talk to Candace.
Candace?
Talk to Candace, and Candace has taken notes and has handed the note directly to Danny. And she called again today, so she's called for a couple of months, and she can't get through to Danny. Danny won't return her phone calls or respond to her. And that's
She wants to pay her bill. I'd just as soon take her money myself. No. Why aren't we getting?
She doesn't want to mail it to the
Going
government.
company?
She hasn't got a bill. She don't know how much to even pay.
Oh, so she doesn't have a bill.
No.
So
She just wants Danny to call her, and Danny won't respond to her, which I don't understand why.
But this all happened over a week or 2 days.
No, it's been a month.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Maybe there is no bill.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
they want a response.
Okay,
Her
we'll,
daughter, I think,
we'll,
was transported or something like that. from
I don't know
Jackson.
the story, it's just
Well,
informed me
that
of it
Danny-
again today.
when Danny gets back from New Mexico, we'll have him touch base with you and get the lady's name and number.
Candace probably
Find
put it
out
in
what's
his
going
box.
on. There may not be a bill, that may be why, you know what, was she transported?
Oh, yeah, she was in an accident. But when will he be back from Mexico? She's calling me again tomorrow.
I don't know, I have no idea.
Friday. It's not on Saturday.
All right, now fire chief's report.
7 calls since the last meeting. Most of them were accidents, actually. Had the JAWS service today. They're on engine 2. Waiting on a quote now. The cutters, the tool that does all the cutting, those are past the point of sharpening or anything. There's nothing that they can do for them. So he said basically it's like using a pair of dull scissors to cut right now. So he's getting me a quote on the new pieces to replace those. So once I have that, I'll get things ordered if it's within reason. Other than that, and while he was here today, they did a service on the new compressor. Everything looks good, so we're good till February. February is when it's due for a air quality test and oil change. So other than that, that's all I have. The North Station is getting a couple of guys putting together a little cleanup crew tomorrow night and cleaning out the North Station. old Halloween decorations and all just stuff. Years of stuff.
Don't bring it downstairs.
No, it's going to the dump. It's going to the dump.
Is the old professor
Don't read it.
completely gone?
Don't create.
No, that fell through, so it's still up back. So that's why I've urged for the North Station to be cleaned up, so that the old compressor can get moved up there for now. So.
Is there like a plan, like, can we send it to a metal recycling place or something?
I mean, I like to sell it still. It's still usable, so I'd like to sell it. So I'll keep pushing that. So
Sean, curiosity on my part, the motorcycle and truck accident downtown recently,
yeah,
was that a fatal?
it was the next day.
Or was the next day?
Yeah, yeah. Later in that day, it was not a fatal on scene. It was not. He made it to the hospital just fine. I was notified the next morning that he passed at the hospital. So, but I had one question. There's been some construction downtown Main Street at night. Any idea what that is? Somebody asked me, and I had no idea about it. I just was curious.
Construction?
Yeah, they said it was down there. The lanes were moved last night, and there was a bunch of construction stuff going on downtown. I have no idea what it was, so I didn't know if anybody knew.
One thing that, well, you saw the signboard.
Right.
All we know is that there's been some marking, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that obviously you can see the police stations.
Yeah,
And
well, that's what they were doing last night, measuring maybe.
maybe there's a whole bunch of, as you saw
Yeah.
coming out of the bridge, new station, the new bridge area. There's a bunch of markings for milling. And
I heard today that the wire stuff on the Route 1 here is going to be done this week.
well, next week's the milling.
We're getting calls.
Yeah, I
all
know
the
the
time.
traffic backups. And but I know part of business.
Okay, thanks.
Do we want to talk to them at the end for a minute?
Yeah, if you've got a couple minutes, we'd like to talk to you after the meeting,
Okay.
quickly about something. Okay. Saginaw County tax split, payment vote. This says for fiscal year 2027, but don't we want to do it for 26?
We're in 26 right now.
Okay, so
So it's too
2027 would be next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
all right.
26, 27.
Yeah, we're in
Okay,
26
all
right now.
good. I just wanted to clarify that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'd like to have it start next year rather
Yeah,
than,
that will be next year.
rather than the year after. You all see what it says here, to authorize the town administrator to inform the Saginaw County and other county municipalities that Woolwich would prefer to pay its county tax in 2 installments and work with the county administration to see if a mutually beneficial payment schedule can be developed for fiscal year 2027. Topsom has already passed this, okay? Bath is probably not interested because they don't care. They've got plenty of money, they can pay it anytime.
They only have one tax payment.
Yeah. So,
I would move that we.
And this is Thompson's words.
so
Yes.
Topsom, other than Bath, Topsom's a big dog. So if they're willing to go along with it, if we get every other town in the county to go along with this, then they'll have no choice but to do what the towns are asking.
I thought they still had a choice.
Oh, yeah, they have a choice.
Okay.
But they would look really bad to 9 out of the 10 towns. Okay, I know there's 11 towns in this county, but Perkins Township doesn't count. Nobody lives there.
They can't vote.
Okay, it is still a registered town. Okay, so
I would move that we.
authorize this?
Yes, authorize this.
Yeah, second.
Those in favor? Good, thank you. Engagement letter with W.H. Brewer, CPA.
Is it one
2
signature?
of them. Huh?
Is it just the chairman, one signature?
It is one
Yes.
signature.
I would move that we authorize David to sign the engagement letter with W.H. Brewer CPA.
Second.
Those in favor? Okay, thanks, Jim. Discussion of tax club for fiscal year 2027. Tim
Yes.
has given us what Rockport does for their Gardner and Grumpy.
And then Bing Wyndham or one of the, something's on the, Wyndham, on the very last page, I believe. I just printed out some of their tax clubs. I like Rockport's.
Very well. Rumford,
Yeah,
Gardner, and
Yes.
Rockport.
I like Rockland's, guidelines.
Is it Rockland or is it Rockport?
Rockport.
Rockport, did you say Rockland?
Rockport.
Rockport.
There we go.
Rockport,
Gotcha.
yes.
Like
So
West Bath.
I know we've kind of discussed it a little bit in the past. I kind of wish that we could start it this year, but we would have to have an article, warrant article on the town warrant in order to authorize this. But it's very beneficial. I've worked with them before with tax clubs in 2 other towns. It just keeps people from accumulating interest or paying interest. We have a handful of people that pay monthly now, but they do get interest when they, obviously have a balance due after October and after April. So this just, and some towns do it differently. A lot of towns just split the tax payment into 12 equal installments. I didn't print Bath's out, but they do 12 months as well, David. I thought you thought they did 9. They do 12. The city of Bath.
Do they?
Yep.
I think when I lived over there, they only did 9.
Yeah, they do 12.
They may have
And
expanded.
some towns do 9 just because they go from commitment date to the end of the year. This, how it would work is, we would start at July 1st, and you would take the taxes that you paid in the previous fiscal year, and that's what they would pay in July and August, and then probably in September. And then when the commitment rolls around, what their new tax rate is, you would divide that by what, the difference would be, and that would be their new tax payment until July or June. They're due, they could be due on the 15th of the month, 1st of the month, whatever. I would only allow residential properties. I don't think business and personal property should be included in this.
I like the Rockport one, but it doesn't explain that. It just says that the tax will, that, you start on July 1st, and you pay on the 1st of the month, and you have to be paid it in full June 5th, but it should, I would think it should explain that after a certain date, after we go to commitment, the tax, it will increase.
It will increase, yeah. It does explain it.
Yeah.
It does explain
In
it.
that part, it talks
Yeah,
about.
it is down here a couple of
Right.
bullets later, but I think it should be
Yeah.
right up there where,
Yeah.
I mean,
read it all at once.
This is beneficial for the town
It's
and.
beneficial for the town, it's
Yeah.
beneficial for the seniors,
Yeah.
it helps people out. Not
Yeah.
accumulating and not paying interest is
It's,
is good.
you're right, it saves them interest and it keeps us cash flow.
Right.
So for
Right.
those
It
few
keeps us
months.
in cash flow.
Yeah,
But it also gives us a more steady income.
yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of towns do this.
Yeah, and if you have an escrow, you're not allowed to be in, escrow companies cannot say, we'll pay monthly. That's not gonna happen,
No,
because
right.
they're sitting on that interest.
Right.
But,
Another
if
option.
they're late more than once, they're eliminated from the tax flow.
Right.
That's just how it goes.
What's the
And then-
strategy? What's the strategy behind doing it and starting in July? Why not just start it on the month that the first tax bill comes out?
There's nothing that change, it's just how you wanna work it. If you wanna do 12 installments.
Tony said, we should start,
If
when
you
the tax
wanted-
bill goes out, it should start the first of the next month.
So, if the tax bill goes out in September, or what if we send the tax bill out in August?
Yeah,
So that's kinda,
so there's two things I see.
where,
Yeah, I
where
see-
where you getting
Right,
at.
the 12-month thing is beneficial for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
Because you get folks that are accustomed to paying payments, you know what I mean, there's not a gap, you know what I mean? And the other thing is, it will help our cash flow.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's
obviously,
a
we're gonna be
huge-
like the school, we're paying the school before we get the money.
Well, if it's
but we're
been,
gonna take in money.
I don't know, how many people do you think would sign up for this?
I don't know, not here,
Some.
30 or 50?
we probably had, when I worked in another town, we probably had maybe 25 people,
Yeah, it's just an option.
I know when I lived over in Bath, it was very popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, with the way
Well, the
everything
individual,
increases, it might be very beneficial
Right.
and it might take off.
the individual that we're dealing with on the
Yeah.
Hall Road property,
Yeah.
and I went to see him and he, so far, done what he said.
And if
But
people
this-
think of it, when they get their tax bill, and instead of paying $800 in October and $800 in April, you're gonna pay $60,
That's right.
$60 or $80,
That's right.
whatever. And that's more,
Right.
You
Well,
know,
this individual, it's a good example, this individual's home, it would only be like $60 a month.
It's also a
So
lot
if they're
easier,
used to paying $60 a month,
it's also a lot easier for anybody on a fixed income
Yeah.
budget.
absolutely,
what harm is there in doing the option, you know?
right.
Nobody uses it.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Of course, if I put on my county hat, I'd have to say that this is gonna cost us a lot of revenue.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it won't.
Well,
It won't.
in the long run though, when you're issuing liens and filing liens and per time, it does end up being very costly.
For what, doing a tax club?
No,
Oh.
sending out tax note reminders and then filing liens against the homeowner.
Oh, absolutely.
And it takes up your time as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is costing us money.
yeah, if Kim's for it and it's no real cost to the town and it's an option, why not?
Right.
if it
I
doesn't
mean,
use-
we can't do it until next year because
No, right.
we have to vote on it. The town has to vote on it, so I just
think-
wanted to throw it out there.
I think this is a win-win situation
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
We tried this with people that, before, we tried this with people that were already in Hawk, and we let them make payments, and the state told us we couldn't do that because we were charging interest, and, we were acting as a bank. That was different. That wasn't people paying,
Right.
this year's taxes. It was people trying to get out of
Catch
it.
up, yeah, right. Yeah, that's the hard
But,
part.
no, I'm totally in favor of it. So
Okay.
motion to start a tax.
We wanna-
So you'll develop it.
We need to develop a.
Is it an
develop
ordinance
how-
or will it be an
Develop
ordinance?
a what?
Is it an ordinance or what will it be?
Yeah, it's just an article.
No, right, we vote on it
Yeah.
to.
But is it a policy or it's not an ordinance, right?
No.
It's just,
No, it's
just
not
a,
an ordinance.
just
It would
a,
just be a warrant article.
warrant article that
that
describes
to
how.
allow the treasurer to accept prepayments on a monthly payment without,
Right.
accruing interest or collecting interest.
Yeah,
So the motion will be to put this on the warrant for our town meeting, our spring
Yeah.
town meeting.
Yeah.
So we, yeah.
yeah.
Okay?
So we do that now or just wait till we do it?
No, let's make the motion, let's
Okay.
do it
So-
now.
so
and
moved.
then we'll be all
Second.
set for the town meeting.
Yeah,
next spring.
so moved.
Okay.
Those in favor? Okay.
Can't hurt.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Dale.
Tommy seconded it.
All right.
Okay. All right, we've come to the end.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything final before I ask for motion to adjourn? Okay, motion to adjourn. We're at
All
it.
right.